Hey, it's Tom Michael, General Manager here at Boise State Public Radio. Right now, public media is under threat. The White House has asked Congress to take back funding already approved for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, funding that sustains Boise State Public Radio and NPR stations like ours across the country. We stand to lose over $500,000 annually, jeopardizing our newsroom, programming, and mission. You can help. Learn how to take action at boisestatepublicradio.org/funding.
It's The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Troy Oppie. It's Wednesday, June 11th. Good morning. It would appear Idaho's next gubernatorial race is off and running. The Latah County Jail in Moscow will no longer house inmates for longer than a day starting later this year. A lawsuit settlement driving new changes to Boise's city code on noise violations, plus local athletes to watch at the NCAA Track and Field National Championships in Eugene this week. All that and more right now on The Connector. We're still a year and a half away from the next statewide election in Idaho, but the race for governor appears to be off and running. Idaho Governor Brad Little appears to have announced his run for another term as governor. In a late Tuesday post on social media site X, formerly Twitter, Little posted an endorsement for another term from President Trump, along with the campaign logo, Little for Governor. Trump's endorsement came on the president's social media site Truth Social. Little, in his post, thanked the president, but he has not otherwise officially announced he's running for a third term in November 2026. A change to Boise's noise ordinance had a first reading at last night's city council meeting. The proposal adds an exception to the ordinance for activities protected by the First Amendment. The change comes after the city was sued by the Idaho chapter of the Sierra Club, an environmental advocacy nonprofit. They alleged Boise police were using the existing ordinance to squash free speech. In a statement, Lisa Young, the chapter's director, says it's, quote, well past time for the city to take action to protect our constitutional rights to protest. She expects Boise City Council will pass the amendment as soon as possible. The council has 3 months, according to the settlement agreement. The ordinance was moved without comment to the council's second reading calendar, and it will appear again at a future meeting. Come back to work is the message to recently retired U.S. Forest Service workers from that agency's new chief. As the Mountain West News Bureau's Yvette Fernandez reports, Tom Schultz is also asking states for help ahead of the summer rush of tourism and wildfire season.
Safety and fire response remain top priorities for the Forest Service, according to Schultz. His comments come amid a flurry of executive orders from President Trump aimed at reducing the federal workforce. At a visit to Fish Lake National Forest in Utah this month, he says employees who took deferred resignation offers should consider returning. The agency, he added, may need their help during wildfire season.
We have seen some states step up and bring on employees, seasonals, that work for us and work with us. So I think those are the opportunities we need to look at. So what partners exist that we can leverage their interest and use funding that's in the system.
More than 4,000 Forest Service employees accepted Trump administration early resignation offers, and over 3,000 were fired. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Yvette Fernandez.
Better DNA and ballistics testing has led to charges in a Canyon County murder case from 2015. In a press release Tuesday, Nampa police said they've identified and now charged 54-year-old Mark Adrian Neal in the killing of Akrian Evans at his home on Garrity Boulevard in Nampa in March of 2015. Neal was already in police custody on an unrelated charge. Police say additional charges are possible as the investigation continues. Moscow's Latah County Jail does not meet current standards for safety, plumbing, electrical, or security. That's according to an assessment of the jail conducted by the county. Latah County Sheriff Richard Skiles announced yesterday the jail will transition by this October 31st to a court holding and booking facility only. Inmates would be held or processed only during regular business hours. The sheriff in a news release says long-term plans for inmate housing are still being worked out, but after-hours arrests and those unable to post bond in Latah County would be transported and held at the Nez Perce County Jail. Latah County says it's also working on, quote, various financial opportunities to build a new jail. The current Latah County facility was built in 1972. The sheriff says they could repair the most pressing issues for about $13 million, but the facility would still be obsolete within the next 5 to 10 years. There's no new information on the investigation into how a woman ended up in a Boise canal earlier this month. She was pulled from the canal but pronounced dead at a local hospital. Our Julie Luqueta now has more on how to stay safe near the water this irrigation season.
Almost 70,000 feet of canals run across Idaho in both agricultural and residential areas. In a video posted by the Boise Fire Department, since retired Chief Paul Roberts warns canals are more dangerous than they appear.
That water's extremely cold, making it very difficult to swim for a long time.
The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare says hypothermia can occur within 10 minutes of submersion. Canals are also deceptively deep,
even upwards of 10 feet deep. There are portions of the canal that actually go underground. If you end up in the canal and end up underground, it is probably going to turn out to be very tragic.
With water flowing at 3 miles per hour, people, and most importantly children, can be swept up in a matter of seconds. And Roberts says rescue missions are often complicated by inaccessible embankments.
Those steep concrete edges will get slimy, or in other areas they'll get muddy and soft, and making it very difficult to get out of.
The fire department also warns to never jump into canals to retrieve fallen items and to instead call local irrigation managers for help. Julie Luqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
Caldwell's West Valley Humane Society could run out of funding by next February if changes aren't made. That's the prediction from Best Friends Animal Society, a national nonprofit helping shelters to be no-kill. The Idaho Press reports Best Friends gave West Valley a nearly $500,000 grant last year and helped triple staffing to 32, but that's still a dozen fewer than needed. West Valley has also left its executive director position vacant to save money and can only focus on stray animals. Best Friends told the Nampa City Council last month most of the shelter's revenue goes to offset services contractually required by Canyon County and its two major cities. The Idaho Press reports taxpayer funding per capita for West Valley is pennies on the dollar compared to some other areas of Idaho. The private nonprofit is asking local governments for more financial support. A reminder for drivers in Canyon County, Interstate 84 closes again tonight for work on the Karcher Interchange overpass. Eastbound traffic closes at 10 p.m. It'll detour onto Karcher Boulevard and return to the freeway at Northside. That detour in place between 10 p.m. tonight and 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. In sports, Boise State has multiple athletes at the NCAA Track and Field National Championship Finals for the first time since 2021. Landon Helms, an Emmett High grad, will compete for the Broncos in the decathlon. That starts today in Eugene, Oregon. Kai Robinson will run the women's 1,500 meters, and Hannah Ackerman is seated in the middle of the pack in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Both those events begin on Thursday. A few other names to remember. Peyton Bear, the Kimberly High grad, competes in the decathlon for Mississippi State. He's a contender for the podium. And Bora High grad Nathan Green will try to bring another men's 1,500-meter championship home to the University of Washington. He won the title in 2023. And that's your connector for Wednesday, June 11th. Hope you'll like and subscribe to this podcast. That helps other people find it, too. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
Planet Money helps you understand the economy. We find the people at the center of the story.
Garbage in New York, that was like a controlled substance.
We show you how money influences everything.
Tell me what you like by telling me how you spend your money.
And we dig until we get answers.
I had a bad feeling you're going to bring that up.
Planet Money finds out. All you have to do is listen. The Planet Money Podcast from NPR.